live in the dungeon. This is the Dream Warrior Review. I'm Kurt Thomas.
I'm Mick Strawn.
And this is episode 72.
When the matriarch of the Graham family passes away, her daughter's family begins to unravel cryptic and increasingly terrifying secrets about their ancestry.
Hereditary.
Okay.
That's the best I could do right now.
That little girl was creepy. I mean, really creepy.
Was that your first thought?
That was my first thought. And actually my only thought for quite a while, I have to say. But
Millie Shapiro played
really
that girl Charlie. Her name was Charlie.
Well, that was obviously a prosthetic across her forehead, right?
Obviously.
Oh, yeah, man. They made her look way creepy. So,
wow.
So
I was kind of shell-shocked after this one. I had some memories of another movie a little bit.
Yeah, me too.
Which I had this conversation with you when we watched Mother.
That Mother, right?
I kind of enjoyed the first part of the movie until the train fell off the tracks.
Well, here's the thing. It had all the setups of a great horror film, but I don't know if it really...
We're talking about Hereditary? Or Mother?
Hereditary.
Oh, okay.
I'm not talking about Mother. There's similarities, but I don't want to go into it because I don't want to talk about Mother.
Right.
It had a lot of the setups the setups were much better than the Annabelle film that we saw.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You know, I mean, I enjoyed it a lot more, and I thought that we were heading into this really, really, really dark, horrifying place. And in the last, I'm going to say 10 minutes, it took an enormous left-hand turn. And suffice to say that in the end, it was so horrifying that it ended with the song.
Oh, Joni Mitchell.
Both Sides Now.
Both Sides Now.
Yeah.
Yes. I can hear it right now in my head.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I can too.
So this movie is
and still somehow it's life's illusions I recall.
Wow.
So yeah,
this movie is M. Night Shyamalan.
Right.
This had that kind of feel to it.
It did.
And so it's like this movie, M. Night Shyamalan and Darren Aronofsky had a baby. This is it.
Right. I kept thinking to myself that this is going to have a great ending because it built like the classic horror film.
So I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it up to that point.
I did. You know what? Up until that point right there, that you're seeing right there, up until that point there, I thought, wow, this is actually pretty cool. But then I was like,
the part with all the... There's something horrible that happens with the kids. And one thing I liked about it was that nobody talked about it.
Yeah.
That was what made it great.
Yeah. It
made me really uncomfortable. And I'm like...
Oh, because the really scary thing about it was what he does or doesn't do afterwards.
Yes.
That was cool. So when somebody else goes downstairs and you're just like waiting.
Yes.
Yeah. And
but they didn't address it. They didn't even talk about... The police didn't talk.
Right. Nobody did.
Nothing.
Right. Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
There was a cool thing that they were doing with the camera. The movement of the camera was a little bit slower than you normally get. And it was very, very even and sweeping.
Yeah.
And it had a tendency not to stop at the places that you normally think it's going to stop. Did you notice at the funeral when...
Yeah, it kept going down under the ground. Yeah.
It was tracking the coffin down, and then the camera just... The grass is in between, and there's the dirt, and the camera's still going down. There was also a part when they were on the road, and they're following him when he's... before that horrible thing happens with the thing and the thing and the thing.
Yes.
Right.
Thing, yeah.
Exactly. That thing. We're following the car along, and all of a sudden it just stops on a pole. And the car goes on, and we're just looking at the pole. And it just was a nice device for creating tension.
I like the light switch effect.
Yeah.
Where they show the outside of the house, and it's like,
and then,
all of a sudden, boom, it's like light out or dark out.
You know what? It was like day and night.
I think I've seen a movie like that, but it was a comedy probably.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. No, it was and I have to say 95% of this film was entirely enjoyable.
So, Toni Collette. The last movie I watched with her in it was
Right.
Was the one that we watched with Chunky Larry.
You're right.
It was called Krampus.
Krampus, right. Yeah.
And I was commenting on her scared face was looked like she was going to throw up.
Right.
But this is light years away from that. It's like, I thought her performance was amazing in this one.
Right. It was amazing.
And she did a great job of changing over the course of the film.
Exactly. Of getting worse and worse and getting really honestly to that point to where she's so frantic.
And she did some really good physical things where she was like,
yeah,
and
talking about where pulling people. Yeah. And
where she was taken over by something and she kind of made this
oh yeah, no, it was
yeah, so she was amazing.
It was amazing. Like I say, 95% of this film, there's just a certain point at it where you should just walk away.
They should have a contest and hey, let's see if we can come up with different endings. From this point,
from that point, just fade it to
see
black.
What we can do with it.
Yeah, exactly. That would be great because it would be a great film. Yeah, there is just no doubt about it. I have certainly.
I have a good ending, but I don't want to ruin it. I mean, I would just have the.
Because we're waiting for that anyway, right?
Right. So this ending was, I don't know, I mean, it kind of ruined it for me. I was actually into the movie. I was into the...
Yeah.
It took me a while to get into the slow, mother-style pacing.
Right. And then
I was worried. I was like, oh, no, is this going to happen again? Where I'm kind of... where I'm watching a movie,
it's
very
that
slow, and I'm kind of interested. And this one I was a lot more interested in. But...
Yeah. But...
There's a left turn.
Yeah. How many heads...
How many heads will I get this one?
How many heads do you give it? Honestly, I would give this 3.6 heads until the last 10 minutes.
I was actually really liking, the first, up to the point where actually, right after the horrible thing with the kids.
Right.
I was probably at a 4.
Yeah, no.
And then when we get farther in, it probably drops to about 3.5, 3.4.
The director did an excellent job of creating tension. Toni Collette is so watchable.
Yeah.
Even the daughter that was playing in this was too freaky to be true.
Yes.
The husband,
that was Gabriel Byrne.
Gabriel Byrne was disaffected is perfectly.
I felt sorry for that guy.
Yeah.
Steve. Poor Steve.
Yeah, poor Steve. I mean, I was like, oh, wow. But what I wanted to talk about for a minute, I wanted to talk about us walking into the theater. Because we walked into the theater, and we both looked over to the left, and let's put it this way. There weren't a whole lot of people in this theater. And
10 probably.
Yeah, and all 10 of them were sitting right in front. And there were 3 older people.
Right.
Probably older than I am, right? You're sitting right in the middle of the front. And I immediately picked on them. As we were walking by, I said, hey, are you guys in the right theater? Didn't I? What was I saying? Are you in the right theater? Because you
don't look like horror fans.
You don't look like horror fans. You don't look like you can't handle the truth. Like they couldn't handle the truth. You see what I'm saying? Because, and you know why I thought that? Because I looked at them and I thought they can't handle the truth. And so we went all the way up the stairs, circled back around, got our seats in the middle of it. And before we sat down, I reiterated my point of view. Said, are you sure you want to be here? And they sure. And here's the thing that was great about it. As the film went along, we didn't hear peep out of the whole front, except for I think the 3 people on the right walked out at one point. Okay,
there was a really good jump scare though, and I heard one of them kind of gasp.
Yeah. oh, there was some great.
Toni
jump
Collette
scares.
came running somewhere at some point.
Oh, when she was running.
With that thing.
Yeah.
When she was doing the thing.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about when she was doing the thing,
okay.
right at the guy.
Oh yeah. Well,
you know what I'm talking about.
Toni Collette was amazing. Anyway, so when it ends, I stand up and I think that I was 34% indignant. And I stood up and I said, so what did you think about that? And the great thing is the oldest one of the bunch turned around and said, well, I thought this was going to be scary.
Yes.
I said it was going to be scary. I said it was going to be scary. Oh, this is lame. I was like, well, it was scary until we got to that last 10 minutes there. I don't know what that was all about. And they go, it was nothing. So I have decided to rename her Blood and Guts Granny. So Blood and Guts Granny made it fun for
Maybe
me.
that's really her nickname. That'd be weird.
Well, hello. Of course it was.
Maybe she wasn't really there. Anyway.
Wow, you made me think.
So you don't want to talk about flies? That you can actually see the flies. You can hear the flies. They walked into a room. I was waiting to see a pig.
I swear, I was going to bring that up.
A miniature house?
Flies.
What else?
Yeah, flies that you could see in miniature houses. Right.
Where they're actually part of the miniature at some point.
Yeah.
See,
yeah.
There's a lot of little things I saw.
You're so right. There was a homage to Nightmare on Elm Street 3. Yeah. But the flies were funny because you know that those flies were digital, right?
Yes.
Because you know what?
They're really big too.
Digital. They were enormous. Yeah. They weren't flies. They were like beetles. But the thing is there are failings of the digital world. But they can do flies on shit.
Yeah. But the Toni Collette doing the thing up in the thing was brilliant.
Yeah, right. Oh, she was just in scary, oddball places. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, it's like,
up.
There was I have to say that to a certain extent, the last 10 minutes did not detract from how cool the whole rest of the film was. Yeah, I don't want those 10 minutes to scare people off. I'm just saying, check the running time of the film, subtract 10 minutes, look at your clock, set your clock correctly, and then just walk out. You'll be happier.
I feel like I want to get this on DVD and then like re-edit it so it just ends at that point.
Absolutely. Because there's just so much of a 50-year-old man's super heavy butt that I want to see at any given time.
I don't know. Tree houses. I don't know.
Tree houses.
That's weird. So I never really gave a rating. I guess
You didn't? Oh yeah. What's up with you?
I had to give it a little bit like. See, like I said, I'd be at 4.
Yeah, you'd be at 4.
And dropped.
That's
so right after that thing, probably 3.6.
Yeah, down where I am. See,
yeah,
there you go, 3.6.
Because it was worth watch. I'd say watch this one.
Oh yeah. It's compared to probably the last 3 films that we've seen. It was brilliant.
It was a lot like had that feeling of Sixth Sense, kind of, or like I don't know. It just things were happening.
Yeah,
that were mysterious, and I don't want to say too much, but
it slapped you. It slapped you a little bit harder than a Sixth Sense.
Wasn't much gore. Yeah,
but there was a lot of tension in it.
But I did like it better than Annabelle because you brought that up, and it was in a house.
I'm telling you,
this had a lot more atmosphere.
Right,
like the house.
See, this is the difference. And at the time, I remember not particularly loving Annabelle, and I can tell you more easily after seeing this one. Why is I didn't think that Annabelle carried the tension from one scene to the other very well.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, we're on. And
this sounded like good characters. Well, I do want to mention the fact that the son, the guy that played the son, what was his name?
Yeah.
Alex Wolff.
Yeah.
Alex Wolff. I thought that he did an amazing thing after that thing happened.
Yeah.
Just the tension in his face.
Yeah.
And like,
he really did. No, he kind of decided to go a whole different way than you've seen before for that particular situation. He really did. That was one thing that I found kind of interesting. There were a couple of what they call acting choices that I thought were pretty cool.
I do like the lady too that was helping. Like she was. I like the scene in the parking lot where they're coming out of the art show, and she was just kept grabbing her. She kept touching her.
Yeah, that was.
Come to my house. Come to my house.
Yeah,
that was creepy. But anyway.
Yeah.
So I think we're done with this one.
I think that it's dead.
This is Kurt Thomas along with Nick Strawn. Thank you for listening to the Dream Warrior Review. If you have any questions or just have feedback for our show, we welcome them at dreamwarriorreview@gmail.com. Of course, you can find us on Facebook and Twitter as well. As always, please follow us and tell your friends about us too. See you next time.